Mike Justice from Our Daily Bread Ministries. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. How are you?
It's really good. I'm kind of worn out by the conversation we were having before the mics went live.
Right.
Just going let's just start. I mean, this is a simple question. Catch us up. What's happening at the ministries right now?
Okay, so my coworker of mine, Daphne Cortez Lambert, I almost said Dean, but Lambert now, she got remarried.
She's got enough names. Come on, Daphne.
And hyphens and all that going in them all. But anyway, she approached me about 5 months ago and said, what did I think about her starting forming a nonprofit, and it's called DMP, Daphne's Mission Possible. Actually, on paper, it's Mission Possible Delaware County. And anyway, it's going to be a funding source for Our Daily Bread Ministries. And super good news about that is, for all you guys that fellow supporters and future supporters, is we split the two entities, and so which case, God forbid, something goes wrong and it collapses, Daily Bread still gets to stand. So basically, once again, good soil to plant in. It solidifies the whole existence of the whole program. And yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, so now Daphne's continuing then with this new entity with Mission Possible Del Norte. And it's Mission Possible, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I caught that. She was there representing, and when the Wild Rivers, a couple of weeks ago, the Wild Rivers Community Foundation was giving out like $22,000 to local nonprofits. She was there representing and receiving some funds. So the work she was doing for you guys under the aegis of Our Daily Bread, that's the kind of work that this new entity, Mission Possible, is continuing, or is she branching off into something new? Because she was involved, like life counseling, that sort of thing?
Yeah, she had life recovery classes. She's still going to have that, and she's responsible for that now. That falls underneath Mission Possible.
Okay.
And then the actual shelter will be also added to her program, although I will be running the program, the shelter program. And that's basically what it is. And she will be basically going after funding to get us to the place where we need to be for 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's still our main goal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, 7 days a week, all three meals
Yes.
as well. So, I mean, what's interesting to me, and this is what was interesting about the conversation we were having beforehand, because, I kind of go through the same sorts of things. I don't think on the human scale, of course, that you do with Our Daily Bread Ministries, but just the organizational stuff of being a nonprofit and getting funding. So, as a secular entity, then, that's how she's going to secure funding for the overall projects?
Right.
Okay.
So as it stands right now, until she gets her tax ID number, it is Mission Possible is a project
Like a
of
subsidiary,
Our Daily
yeah.
Bread. Yeah.
Okay.
And then that'll be that way. What's really funny, excuse me, it's cold and flu season. What's really funny is that ultimately she's going to become my boss.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're swapping, right?
Yeah. And ultimately I can remember praying for 3 years to get out of the kitchen, and I was locked in that kitchen and I just couldn't stand it. Then we opened a thrift store and I thought, hey, this is better than the kitchen.
Yeah.
And here it is, 14 years later, full circle, I'm back in the kitchen.
Back in
I got 4 turkeys. I got 90 pounds of turkey cooking right now.
Oh my gosh.
And basically, that's my whole responsibility is the kitchen, and then I have to come in and make sure that the shelter's set up every night. We got a new program called Ketone that's tracking all this. So now, instead of writing it down on the old paperweights that we used to do it, we actually have laptop and we program everything.
And
so
what sort of, so these are the nuts and bolts things of an organization that are intriguing to me. And so what is it? So what sort of activities then do you track with Ketone?
Okay, so what it tracks is people coming in, the ethnicity of the people, the age, whether it's veteran or non-veteran, Native American, so the genders, all that. And it tracks it like QuickBooks tracks our finances.
Okay.
Same sense of the word. It's $300 a year, and we just really wanted to do that. So basically, I can do it off my phone. But right now we have people that come in that actually log in, and I just make sure people that come in are A, not drunk, B, not under the influence, and are not going to be creating problems, so that we can have a peaceful mission or peaceful night's sleep for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're doing something really smart here, because it's running a nonprofit endeavor. you kind of like walk around with both your head in the clouds and your rear in the mud, in that you try to maintain this high level sort of vision and where you're going and overall, but then you sweat things like you said something like it's $300 a year for keto, because you sweat the details too.
Right.
So you're the one person kind of going through steering it and seeing the whole thing as much as possible.
Yes.
And then also working keeping all these balls in the air and stuff like that. It's in it. But
So
what you're doing, I'm sorry, where I was going with this was that you're doing something important, and that you're setting this up so that the ministries and what the work of this whole endeavor will survive after you're gone.
Yes.
After the individual personalities are gone, you'll have an institution that will continue to serve the community.
I think this will clear it up. Yes, you're absolutely right. And that's the whole purpose of the thing. I actually told Daphne, well, if you're really serious and you want to get your name on the actual deed, $100,000.
Wow,
Okay?
all right, yeah.
And you can gladly do that.
Yeah,
right?
and you're not cashing out in a situation like that.
No,
You'd just be working there for her.
It would actually make the ministry that's separate.
Yeah,
That makes the ministry whole. That would be a nice little nest egg. We've never had an abundance like that. Even though we've gotten money, it spends really quick, as you well know.
Yep.
So anyway, my whole fault in this whole thing was, and I raised my hand and I admit it to everybody, is I've always imagined that the county and the city people of our community would pay for this. So then the next hurdle that we have to do for the county is 68 grand.
Let's say this, pay for this. You mean pay for the work that the ministries do, because it's a service to the entire community.
Yes.
And and you've been sort of, now have you felt, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to derail you, but I think we're both keyed up. But have you felt that there's like I've sort of gotten this talking to you over the years, is that there's sort of a reluctance from the county, from government, to work with a religious entity, something that is identified as a religious entity?
Oh yeah. But not for that reason alone, because our roadblocks that's always hit us is money for projects. And so literally, I assumed that the community would group together and be able to pay for it. That was my shortfall, mind you. And I just kind of got that, hey, this ain't going to happen. The only way we're going to evolve and get to that place where we need to be efficient and professional and all that stuff, is to have a funding source.
Right, exactly.
That isn't just...
And to the person calling, the way it works in radio is if they solicit calls. Thank you so very much, because I really want to have this conversation with Mike, and we can certainly set up a time and do something, but we will take calls.
Yes.
Because I want to have the community input. But
sure,
it's been a while, and I want to catch up with you. Please continue with that thought.
So anyway, that was my shortfall. So I came to a place in my life. I won't just publicly put this out there, but went through some trials, and we went to Yosemite, me and my family, for 10 days. And
I remember the pictures.
Yeah, and so through that time, you check in the bank accounts and the money's dwindling, and to be honest with you, I was probably really close, ready to give up, because I just got tired, of just all the setbacks continually. And so I was just kind of going to let it maybe shut down, I think, because I was going through some trials in my life. And we ended up getting back here, and the Lord provided necessary funding to keep going, but it wasn't a funding issue. It was where my heart was.
Yeah.
I was getting tired of being shot down. So when the timing was perfect, Daphne approaches me, and I said, well, Daphne, you always remember me saying not all money is good money. And I always knew that, yes, we could do this, but we would need to find a grant writer. So when she branched off to me, she already had a grant writer. So that was the plus of all of it. And therefore, that was the big part of it. Once you crest into that, you got 990s, you got to do reports and things that have to get done. And if you don't, you get fines, penalties. And the government says, pay me within 25 days, 30 days, or they come in and take everything you have. So I know
what all those references mean. And that's just, okay, go on.
I personally wasn't willing to risk all the work that we put in, and for a typo or something. I knew nothing criminal would ever happen, because I just would never let that happen. But mistakes happen, and mistakes are costly.
And there's a lot of opportunity to make a mistake in dealing with all of this sort of thing.
Yeah. Daphne asked me when we agreed, and we said yes. She says, what's some advice you want to give me? I said, Daphne, I'm going to be really straightforward with you. Go buy lots of hair dye. because
'cause you're
you're
gonna
gonna
go
go silver.
Oh,
And she laughed at that, but I'm not lying about that.
Yeah.
The weight, once you crest out there, now you have the weight of it on there. And then she set up her board and had all this stuff and assumed that everybody knew. And then she had some questions and they didn't have answers for her. And she's like freaking out. And I went, see what I'm talking about?
Right. That's how.
Well, when it starts to keep getting you up at 2 a.m. and you can't go back to sleep and you run a few days, you'll understand. But that's the thing. And to be honest with you, I think I spent all my energy in this part getting here. I don't think I could have handled it, to be honest. And I'm, and a lot of people go, oh my gosh, that's, this is all trust, and my wife said it when we were signing papers with the lawyers. She said, here's my concern, my wife, this is our vision. What's going to happen if the board fires Daphne, hires somebody else, they come in, they don't like the situation, they take off and they go. And I said, well, as they were speaking and she was voicing her concerns, because she didn't say that to me, I went, well, this is real simple. The people are going to go where there's least resistance. And we have 3 rules at Daily Bread. That's it, to come stay at our place. Can't be drunk, can't be under the influence of drugs, and you got to help clean after breakfast. Simple. Another entity would require ID, would require certain standards to get in, that a lot of the people wouldn't be willing to do, and there'd be a heck of a lot more than 3 rules.
Right.
So we're able to keep the 3 rule thing for now. So anyway, so I was able to tell my wife that, and she said, oh, okay. So we signed a 20-year lease, and so that's saying, hey, we're serious,
Yeah.
Me and Daphne could shake hands on that, but the way of a secular nonprofit is, we want everything in writing. We want our, because this is what they said. You're standing out here in the open. Mike could, decide to move to Texas tomorrow and decide to sell everything off and go to Texas and start a Daily Bread or something. And I said, well, we can get as serious as you want to. It's all been put on the table. So anyway, a 20-year lease was a legal way to do this.
Wow.
So that's what we did. And
the overall thing is you're starting kind of a slow transformation then to a secular shelter?
No. See,
well, how are you? Because you're going to end up working for Daphne under her thing, right?
Yeah, but I'm bringing my nonprofit into that too. So the whole thing will be split down the middle. See, so I'll still be in charge of the food, and the preaching part and all that stuff will happen.
But the grant writing itself, the funding and things will happen with Daphne's side.
Mission Impossible.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, I get it.
It's a unique thing. Most organizations, we'll just use Can as an example. They were just started out just exactly like us, and then it went, and then what? Let's just say something scandalous happened, and it basically shut down.
Yeah.
Most organizations run it all together.
Yeah.
And that's something I wasn't willing to, take 15 years of my life and say, okay, I'm going to risk it. I wasn't willing to do that at any cost. And plus I didn't, like I said, honestly, I probably couldn't handle it at this point. I've already spent all my good energy. I'm kind of done playing. I'm that way with the people too, and the dynamics of our ministry has changed from community, working poor and people in the community being a community based to absolutely everybody that comes in to eat is grateful. And we're having a rush of food. We get so much food. Fred Meyer brings us food once a week.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Wow. How much food do you get from Fred Meyer?
Oh, truckload.
Wow, that's
week.
awesome. I have no idea. How do you set something up like that?
I don't. I
that's
didn't
a great
have
partner.
nothing
Did they
to do with
contact
that.
you?
No, they just showed up and said, hey,
what?
We're going to start doing this. And I go, okay, cool. I'll take it.
Yeah.
So I had so much food that last time we did barbecue chicken, I gave out a wing and a thigh and 2 legs. Okay, that was...
You got 4 pieces of chicken and a barbecue.
And it was good, and they loved it, and there wasn't none left when it was done. And then they got, because we have so much, right now our storeroom is overflowing, our freezers are full, everything's going really well.
That's awesome. No, I want to drill down more into the state presently. But first, it is 10:23. You're tuned to KFUG Community Radio. I'm Paul Kritz. The show is Community Service, and we are sitting down here after, I guess, about 3 weeks or so. We kept bumping this because we've been talking about how busy this man is with Mr. Mike Justice from Our Daily Bread Ministries. How are the holidays? How many people are you serving right now?
Okay.
That are able to take part in the shelter and stay.
So it just depends. We have a lot of people. We don't really have we have an overflow, and so first 13 come in, get a bed, and then we got a cot, and then basically bed rolls on the floor. But lately we've just been maxed out in our so it'd be 19.
So with the bedrolls and everything,
Yeah.
you're looking at 19 people?
Well, actually, yeah, the most we've ever had was like 28.
Okay.
Stay with us. That's like in years past, you
Yeah.
know, for the all-night movies and whatnot. So basically, but we want to expand, and that's part of the funding to expand. We need the sprinkler system, $68,000. We had to get roof work done on it. We've already received money, local money, to be able to get the roof going. We got to get a whole new drop ceiling, which is 14. It's the sub ceiling.
Right.
It all has to be replaced, brand new. I don't even know what that's going to be.
Wow.
We need, just all kinds of things. We're looking at switching the shelter back from the front room to the back of the building and making that a
Like walling
ADA
up back there
shower.
and make it building in
I think it's 20 by 40 is the dimensions of the shelter room right now.
Okay.
We're looking at taking that and splitting it with an office because we need that, not an office, but classroom. And we need that. And we need showers, ADA showers. So that's the
So
next.
you're just going to carve off of the big room and set up a
and then
sleeping?
have everybody else out in the back
Gotcha.
on bunks. But of course, to do that, we have to go through Stover and do all the things that cost lots of money. So,
Yeah.
So with the funding source, we're going to be able to accomplish that. With the long-term goal, like I was telling you earlier, is maybe to get another one, build it from the ground up.
Right. Wow.
Done 100% right. Hopefully that all works out. 3 to 5 year plan.
Wow.
So
So
the next-
building from the ground up,
Yeah.
an additional shelter, not a replacement, but an add-on?
Like a whole new
Right.
facility.
Yeah, but the one that's there now isn't going to go away. It's just you're not replacing it.
No.
You're actually expanding with it. Wow.
See, that's what I was trying to explain to you is in ministry, somebody says, well, when do you get there and you're done?
Yeah.
Well, to be honest with you, it's never
Yeah.
because I told you about the drug rehab. That's what we want to do. My wife goes, okay, Mike, you've gotten your dream. When do I get my dream? I go, what's your dream? And she says, well, she's going to college. She gets her associate's degree in a year and a half. And she goes, well, I want to have a drug rehab. That's what I want to do. Wow. And that, of course, wouldn't be pro bono. It would be, you're able to bill. Right now, honestly, with the homeless situation that we have, there's a lot of addicts out there.
Sure.
And if you're a licensed facility, you can like people with Medi-Cal can go up to $3,500 a month.
Wow,
And you
okay.
can take other private insurance and you can bill more for 30-day, 60-day, 90-day program. And so that's what that building would be used for. It's already been set up. This is why my wife's training. She's 11 years younger, but I still think I'm going to outlive her because it's just because I, notice I've lost a lot of weight. I don't have any choice. I ended up having like diabetes.
Oh, wow, okay.
Borderline. I've gotten my A1C down to 6.1 right now.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It means nothing to me. Is that a good number?
Yeah, that's a good number.
Okay, good.
It was 14 and a half when I found out. That's a bad number.
Wow.
And so anyway, I don't have any choice but to continue.
Yeah, right.
And it's like I'm tempted every single day with pastries and cakes and sheet cakes and donuts and everything that macadamia cookies that are about that big around and crush them up. I used to eat a whole box of those, put it in milk. And I would literally eat it like cereal, make my own macadamia nut cereal.
Oh my gosh.
And then my cook would come in and go, hey, boss, you want some breakfast? And I'd eat breakfast, 4 pieces of French toast, 2 pieces of bacon, on and going, oh my Lord. And anyway, and then he would make me that and he'd go, oh, here, try this. And then I get home and Rachel would go, you better not have ate nothing today. Because I made this for you today,
Oh, no.
a full dinner. So I'd eat that and then go to bed.
Oh, wow,
So,
wow. Okay,
needless to say, I mean, I was pushing way past 300 pounds, 360, 370.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I did that to myself. But it was like when you're around it all the time, I have an addictive personality, and I'm telling you, I love food.
After all these years, you're back in the kitchen, man.
Right, right, and my salary's $1,200 a month, so it's like, okay, so I should be able to eat what I want, right? Yeah. Eat myself right into a coma, basically.
Oh my gosh! Oh man!
And so now it's a fight, I just started a new diet. It's called Weight Watchers, and so I can keep the points to keep me, try to keep me on track.
My mom did that. Lots of success she got with that.
Yeah,
So good luck with that.
And it's going to be a lifelong thing for me.
Yeah, you don't stop that. Yeah. Again, it's like the ministry. It's like what you do. You're never going to reach an end, right?
Plus,
where I'm done.
My wife hits me every time she sees me because sometimes I'm like, oh, I just got to have a bite. You can't eat a lot of fruits because
it's all sugar.
Yeah,
it's sugar with fiber, but it's still sugar.
So I'm trying to get to the point where my A1C is like in the 5s, so I can be normal and then maybe just work all week and then have a cheat meal or something. And I'm gonna have to settle for that. No choice. Yeah. So, that's kind of where it's all going, and now we're thinking long term. What's gonna happen when I go? And Daphne's quite a few. I think she's 53. So she's a little bit. She's 55. So she's older than I am by about 3 or 4 years. So, but she's in good shape too. So, who knows who's going to be first and last and all that? But long-term goals is to keep it going afterwards.
Yeah, that's so important.
I got my 14-year-old son Jacob in there, or 13, excuse me, and he's going to be coming on from 1 to 7.
How's he with all this? Is he down with the?
Oh, he totally is down with it.
That's amazing. That's great.
Yeah, he's a people person. He likes, the problem we're having is some of the older people don't like taking orders from him.
I can see,
but he's very, very driven, and he's when he talks, he pokes his chest
right
out.
On, yeah.
He says, he's not scared. And then he said one person yelled at him, and then it was like all the disciples went and got around him. Said, "Don't you dare touch this guy. His dad will kill us." So anyway, it's not really a liability anyway, because everybody that comes into the ministry is covered by workman's comp. So we have that policy. So even me here, if I slipped and fell in here, I got workman's comp on me.
Oh, good. Oh, wow. You just travels with you. That's wonderful, man.
It's really a good thing.
Sorry, not soliciting callers for Mike. I'm really sorry about that. I mean, it's a wonderful idea, and we should do this at the next venture and set up for that. But I've been wanting to have this conversation for a number of weeks and wanting to catch up. Couple of big things. So you've got, what are the plans for the holidays in the shelter? What do you guys have going?
So last night was Daphne's, what do you call it? The Joy of Giving event. And she did, I think she told me 120 people, and we gave out gifts for them. No dinner, but like pastries and things like that for them.
Stuff Coffee. You can't touch.
Yeah. I totally can't. So anyway, they, did that event, which was real successful, and I learned about that through the successfulness by going on Facebook this morning, and all the families posting thank you to Daphne and Daily Bread Ministries for getting them the gifts. So she got a grant. We also received a grant at that Wild Rivers, and so our event goes Monday the 23rd. So we started our cooking today. I'll be working all weekend cooking, stripping turkeys, green bean casserole, mashed potatoes and gravy, and I'd like to say pie, but I think I only got like 20 pies. So we're gonna cut the pies, and then we're going to cakes. But we're gonna have the dessert.
But you'll get through 20 pies.
Yeah, pumpkin. Maybe I have some pumpkin flavored cookies or something. But we're just not normally, like Thanksgiving. We did all of our pie, a lot of our pies, because we'd actually collected them, and it was what we didn't use the year before, so we wanted to use them all up. And then I found some more stragglers, and so we're gonna pull that out, and then pastries and stuff like that.
Oh wow!
But our event starts at 6 p.m.
And this is Monday night?
The 23rd, yeah.
Okay, great.
Monday the 23rd, and then we give gifts. We got sleeping bags for them. We got, that's what Daphne's been doing, ordering all this stuff, packages coming all day, Amazon, all the different sites, and so everybody will be touched with gifts. Somebody says, "Hey, I need a sleeping bag." Boom, here's a brand new one. So lots of jackets came in. I opened up the boxes, and there's a $100 jacket. $20 a pack for packages of socks, so they get good stuff. We don't give out junk. In the beginning, I can remember doing our big Christmas event at the fairgrounds, and we had 400 people. And literally, the first year we did it, we didn't have any money, so we were asking people for their gently used toys. And I can remember all the volunteers sitting there with these trucks coming in plastic, hitting it with awesome and scrubbing them, cleaning them up to make them look good.
Wow.
And we gave out gently used gifts, from correctional officers, whoever donated it from their kids, that had an abundance, and we were able to pull it off. Now, they didn't much like that. I remember, I got to share this with you, when we were still community-based, like for working poor and different people that were in our community, we spent $7,000 getting toys.
Oh, wow.
A lot of them from Walmart. We had like 4 or 5 bikes and all these toys. And you think Black Friday is crazy? You should have seen it. And that was the last year we did that, because it was like they were fighting for it. It was like, oh my gosh, we don't have enough security here for this.
Oh no.
It turned into something that we were like, all of us were like ill afterwards. And we said, no, we're not going to go through that no more. So practical gift giving. Yeah. The gloves, the hats, the socks, the underwear, the jackets, things like that.
Yeah.
And so we still touch everybody with new gifts, and but just on a little bit lower scale.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's amazing. And it sounds like you're getting lots of support from the community and funding and the structures you're building. That's just so I always come back to this question with you, and that is, and I know asking somebody who's doing what you're doing, this is a timeline question, and it's completely grain of salt time, right? Or how are you able now? And how, if not, how close are you able at Our Daily Bread Ministries to meet the demands of the community here, of the homeless, of the people who need help?
So, basically, are you just kind of asking, like, is there enough money coming in and all that?
Are you anywhere near dealing with the capacity of need, or are you at capacity enough to deal with the need are you turning people away?
No.
At night? No. So are you giving as many people shelter as needed?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of people, like when Chief Menzel was here, he'd come and he'd say, well, they don't like your rules. You got too many rules. And I go, it's only 3 rules.
The 3 rules. Yeah.
I said, you come to my house, there's going to be 10 rules. More, yeah. And if I have to ask you to do anything, you're already getting kicked out. So, 3 rules, it's general. We're we want to be to this point where 52 beds is still our goal. That's what we want. We want to be able to do that. Now, here's a thought that I was just talking about the other day to a coworker, not Daphne, another one. So I was talking about, if we make it too sweet, what's the incentive to get well? Here's the wobbler question that me as a Christian man, I'm praying about. How good do we want to make it? So it's a real important question for this community, because this community does not want hand-ups and handouts. It's 2 different things. And one of the things that got me clean and sober and got my life together was, when I mess up, they would throw me in jail. Okay? They're not arresting people anymore.
Yeah.
And so how sweet do we make the water? How sweet do we make it to where, or do we want to make it to meet every single need through the summer and winter? So that's a question mark, and we're going to be having board meetings about that decision on what we want to do 7 days a week. So here's the thing. I think everybody deserves to eat 3 times a day, me personally. And I think if we were feeding people 3 times a day, it would cut down on shoplifting and theft in stores, because, let's face it, I eat 3 times a day. I know you do, right? And so, we do have a program where people, if they're hungry, 7 days a week, can knock on the door and get a meal-sized portion. Maybe it's some chicken, maybe it's macaroni salad, bottle of water, soda, whatever. We always have stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so we're always going to have that. But people, I want to make sure that we're not enabling anybody, because it's important for people to know that, I have a guy that's complaining all the time that's in our program. I said, listen, this is, if you had your finances all together and we're making right choices, you wouldn't need this place. And the door's only locked from the outside coming in. if it's too much for you, you can go. It's a dorm setting. He was complaining about, oh, it's too loud in here. Well, get used to it.
Yeah,
and he'd been to prison before. I said, what'd you do there? Did you get up swinging? I don't think so. And anyway, so long story short, I just, the lawmakers have passed these laws that, if it's nonviolent, a lot of things are not being prosecuted.
Right.
What's the deterrent? It's
Interesting.
a big question.
So what does that mean? So on the back end of this, and this is nothing that you are responsible for answering, but on the back end of this, was it yesterday? I think the Supreme Court decided to not hear the appeals that Delaware County had spent $10,000 to sign their name to about Martin v. Boise and the moving homeless people along. If there is shelter or isn't shelter available. Big deal. It's affected law enforcement and homelessness all over the Western United States. And key to that, and as communities, especially strapped communities like Del Norte and Crescent City, key to that is that the police can't move a homeless person camped on public land. They can't move them along. They can't roust them unless there is shelter capacity for them to go to, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, because in my mind, the only entity anywhere near close to having any kind of shelter capacity is you guys, right? So I'm wondering how, if, and I know all this is up in the air, if you're shooting for 52 beds, if that's enough, if that will affect then what law enforcement can do in Delaware County.
So I think the rejected plea for the Supreme Court, when they rejected the whole concept, the counties went for it, and they were actually kicking people out of the park, saying, hey, we're not going to allow it anyway. And anyway, I assume that's changed. Anyway, for legal purposes, I'm sure it's changed. But my point is, in this, I think that no matter what, they can suggest, hey, the shelter has bed space. But if that person don't want to at this point, what they can say, no, I choose not to go to the shelter.
See, now I thought, and I don't know this for sure. The logic in Martin v. Boise is that if the person does not want to go to the shelter, then law enforcement can do what they used to do and roust them or pick them up or move them along.
Interesting to see. We've had officers, CHP, city, sheriff, dropping people off to us all the time.
Yeah.
So it always happens. They're already doing that, but I think it's people like wet, stranded, going, hey, I need something, and I'm willing to go. Not everybody is willing to go.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I don't know what the solution is to that. I know that the problem, it makes it really tough for people to get on board. I don't know how long it's been since I've went soliciting people to try to help to get this vision finished out. It's hampered that quite a bit.
Do you think? Okay.
Oh yeah, right. Without a shadow of a doubt.
So what? A decided anti-homeless?
Well, they make it very hard to be able to advocate for them. They make it hard in the sense that there's, and it's not all of them. There's a lot.
Oh, you're talking about homeless people. You're talking about okay, gotcha.
They make it hard to advocate privately to have people help us. And just because of the situations, with the park, I used to walk through that area, and they'd be yelling at me and stuff, and it's like I'd just be walking, minding my own business doing my walk, and I still have a heart for them. I still have a heart for the people. When God calls you to do this, it's passionate about it. But it's just a really difficult subject right now. People are just like, what is the solution?
Yeah.
I seen over on Old Mill Road there, they
right at the corner there. Yeah, I saw that.
And I went there, and the signs, no camping. They had to post it. They're still.
Did they get those? Did they move those people along?
Well,
it's been a couple of days.
There's still a few tents there, and there's a whole lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
I just looked at it yesterday, and so things like that. I don't know where this is going to go.
Right.
In the meantime, I'm just like trying to get established and doing the best that I can. One of the things is how we used to go big on everything. Now we're like downsizing it.
Right.
So Daphne was having families come like certain times, and she got out of there about 9 o'clock last night. So she, about 11 o'clock in the afternoon, she had families coming in and getting gifts. And so we're getting smarter and learning, not trying to do everything, because it's impossible.
Yeah.
You'll fall over dead and you'll still have the issues.
You burn yourself out trying
and
to do
the thing is it takes a village.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key word. It takes a whole lot of people focusing on the same effort. Yes, this Mission Impossible is going to be a funding source, get us to where we're going, but we can't really make people come to the shelter. It'd be nice if we could, but I think the laws have all changed to the part that the police are, I don't know what the solution is to it.
Wow.
I look and go, all we can do is be available, and of course the cops can go, hey, there's bed space. That's been the whole plan.
Right.
Apperson and the city police, and saying, hey, tell the people we got bed space. And that's where we've been working towards to get that.
Let me jump in here. 1043 The Time, Community Service, the show, KFUG Community Radio, the station, and we're talking with Mike Justice from Our Daily Bread Ministries. It's interesting that okay, so let me see if I can frame this question right. I guess I'm surprised to learn and to hear from somebody who works with homeless and works with people in need that there's been a change in the attitude, and this is all recent, last couple of years, right? Can you characterize that change? Is it just a matter of us being more divisive as a community? Is it a matter of there being just so many more homeless people? Is there a new kind of homeless person out there who's willing to pitch a tent at the corner of Old Mill and Lake Earl there, or Northcrest? Is it? What has changed in the last couple of years that's changed that sort of approach and attitude? Because I'm surprised, and I don't mean this with any sort of aspersion, any sort of disrespect whatsoever. Yeah. But to hear you feeling that change walking through the park as homeless people are yelling from their encampments in the picnic area and stuff like that, it's disconcerting to me that even that attitude and that reality has touched you, because in my mind, I guess I've been walking around, you're the guy, you're the entity that can save us. Right. And that's not the case, though. No. Things are, and what has changed then recently?
Well, I would say the laws. The laws, it used to be a lock 'em up state, police state. That's when I was doing it, the stuff that I used to get in trouble for, they don't even do anything about now. Wow. So partially the law itself has a lot to do with that. And it's a handful, it's not all. So let's not stigmatize it like all homeless. That's another thing. Dean Wilson, he wrote that op-ed. It was fantastic. Did you read that by chance?
I have not, no.
It was quite a while back, and it was this is why this is happening. We need the lockup state.
Oh, no, I do remember that. And he was actually on KFUG at the time on a Sunday show and talking about that.
So I agreed with that 100%, except the fact that he didn't say, well, it's not all the homeless, because there's a whole faction of people that are absolutely in crisis mode, maybe 2 or 3 months homeless, that are trying to get back on their feet. We actually deal with a lot of those people now, and so that's a reality. So I don't want to stigmatize and say, oh, there's people that want to go out and protest. They're not necessarily the whole general consensus. There's the people that come to eat with us. We'll probably have 150 for Christmas, 150 people. We used to have double that. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
And a little more than double that. The people that come now are the people that are like grateful. I've never been more happy about doing the work. They're like, thank you. They're grateful. I can tell you, what, I love you and I love you. And pretty soon it's just a word, unless I show you by, oh, I love you. Here's some bread, or here's a blanket. Here's a sleeping bag. You see what I'm saying? So through the cooking, we say we love you. Okay, we love you, and then we show you we love you. Yeah. Through the good food, because it's not standard soup kitchen food.
No,
it's actually really good food. We serve better food than I consume at my house. No offense, baby. Not that my wife is a cook too. It's not that she doesn't. It's just she's in college, and I'm Mr. Mom, Mr. Dad. So I'm doing dishes. I cleaned the kitchen the other day, living room, and made our bed. And my wife came from class, had to do a little bit of the folding. I just can't do laundry. I'm horrible at it. I can start a load, put it in the dryer, but doing something with it after that, I'm done. I can't do it. She's got to do all that. So
let me get back to why 150 people now where you used to have double that? What's changed in that regard? Is there a homeless population out there that's just resisting any sort of help?
Probably. I would say no, because we were community. Now we're focused. Now we're all about homeless.
Okay.
So we're all about the homeless. We're totally.
So the doors were wider to a larger cross section of the community back then.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
we would
Okay.
have 150 people show up to eat dinner, and that was normal. And but the gratitude wasn't there.
Okay.
Because they'd seen the cross and go, oh, this is all collected in our names. This is ours. What are you going to give me today? That kind of thing. These people that come in that we're dealing with now are the full-fledged, really destitute homeless people. And we get people passing through that come, and they are, I mean, it's like, in the beginning it was like that. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I don't really require that.
Yeah.
It's just a good feeling when somebody says, hey, thank you. It makes it worth it. Okay. And so they're grateful. So they're in this need and situation that they're hungry, that they're cold. When they come in, it's warm, it's dry, the food's hot. They like that. And we get coffee, juice for breakfast. Milk, Alexander Dairy milk.
Oh, no, seriously.
Let's put this out here. I get 2,000 pounds of milk usually every other week.
Wow.
Okay, so it's Alexander Dairy milk.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever tried it.
Oh, yeah.
Be careful, because it's actually, it's pretty expensive for a gallon. You can only buy quarts.
Back in the day before they
Yeah.
discontinued it, we family, we were signed up. We go out and get raw milk from them too.
Right.
Yeah,
I do remember that. I had some friends that did that as well. But yeah, I mean, you cannot beat it. It's,
Yeah.
a
No,
little
it
high in
is.
sugar. But literally,
right.
literally, the people are like spoiled. So sometimes we get 2% Safeway milk, that's close to outdated. They're like, what happened?
This? Yeah.
Where'd this come from? What do you guys? Is this powdered milk?
milk's broken.
And so I tell Vanessa out at Alexander Dairy all the time, and they're hooked on this. We have to have this.
Yeah, right.
It's like
Yeah.
I hit her up. We didn't see her for about 3 weeks, and I said, "Listen,
Hey,
they're
Steph.
jonesing, man. They're at the door. Give me my Alexander milk, right?" I'm just kidding. But basically, and I totally get that. And my son was raised on whatever the cheapest you can get.
Yeah.
He drinks it. He goes, "Oh, something's just not right with it." And I go, "Yeah,
Yeah, it tastes like milk."
It's great quality. It's good quality. You're not used to it."
You can taste the milk fat.
I said, all you're gonna do is put chocolate in it anyway. So but that's the truth. He's used to, because we buy, not necessarily cheap, but I don't think there's any such thing as a cheap gallon of milk anymore, is there?
There's cheaper, and Alexander's I wouldn't say would be cheaper, and that's amazing that they do that. But they're good people out
and
there.
They've really helped us throughout the years.
That's fantastic.
We got in the beginning, first couple of years, we ended up getting a huge donation of meat and stuff for them.
Oh, nice.
Kept us going for about 6 months. So
Wow.
yeah, but yeah. So anyway, now I get milk, and sometimes they give us eggs, and sometimes they give us yogurt, and so we do these yogurt big pots.
But
of yogurt.
a ton every couple of weeks you get from them?
Yeah, every couple of weeks I get, I can go there and get a whole pallet. And so
amazing.
this stuff that we just got last time had a December 30th pull date. So it was not considered good at December 30th, which gives you 5 more days.
Right.
So that's how we do it. So
Yeah.
we're going to run out right on time, and I'll be going to get
Perfect.
more.
That's
So
great.
it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes you only got a week left on the
Yeah.
date. So it just depends. It's a roll of the dice. We take it all in no matter what.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's just and okay, all right. So if the nature of the scene, the homeless scene over the last couple of years has changed. And I'm just trying to, is this part of the reason why you're rethinking? Because in the past it seemed like it was to get as large a capacity at the shelter as possible, and that was the goal. And then is that why goals have realigned and changed, just because the realities have changed, or is it just more a personal thing like you've been?
Well, kind of
talking about?
we realize that we're not getting younger, and we're always trying to solve all the problems, and we need to focus. And it happened once before where we had a oversight board, and it was all the business people in the community, and they were like, "Why are you doing 18 things? How about just picking 3 of them out of the 18 and try to master those? Once you master them, maybe pull on another one." It made sense to me.
Yeah.
And I guess we were trying to make a statement to the community to get more people to support it, and literally it really wasn't working for us.
Yeah.
We had 900 people at the fairgrounds. Christy Lee Cook came and performed. She was on American Idol, and she came and performed for us. We did Chicken Cordon Bleu for 950 people.
Oh, wow.
And we got through with the whole event. We gave away an electric vehicle, $1,000 mechanic gift card from Torgerson Ford, and one other gift. I can't remember what it was. But, I remember one guy, kind of well-to-do guy, bought $3,000 worth of tickets from me in one time.
Wow.
And so we pulled the winners, and then we did blank pulls to see how many. We pulled so everybody that won the prize, including the guy that bought the car, only purchased one ticket.
Oh, wow, cool.
And we kept pulling to see the 3,000, just bogus like.
Uh-huh.
His name didn't come up until it was 15 times later. We finally got one.
Really?
So but my point being, at the end of that event, which I can't even begin to tell you how tired we were.
I bet.
At the end of that event, I think we ended up making 15 grand. Okay, for all that. Now you would think that that's profit. No, we didn't sell enough tickets, so we had to put $4,500 back under the car.
So you lose a third of it right off the top.
Yeah,
right?
and then as that went out and it came down, I think we ended up with 10 grand. And that sounds like, back then, it just wasn't worth the effort.
Yeah.
We were realizing, my gosh, how are we going to get this food to everybody before it gets cold? I went to Walmart and talked to the old manager. I said, I need to borrow every one of your garden carts. He said, no problem. So I took them garden carts, rush to my house, hose them all off, wash them, get them loaded back in, get them to the thing, and that's how we got people their food. And we charged everybody $25. I had to. And so when we made the plea, and Christy Lee Cook asked, hey, support this ministry, it didn't. And then, the Pregnancy Care Center did an event, and they had 200 people, and they did a double, and that was my phone going off.
Oh, is that you? Okay, good, because I think I'm having a stroke or something.
So thank God for voicemail. But anyway, we just kind of started as we got older. We're like, okay, so now we have a focus that, okay, so we need to get our funding elsewhere. And then, we want to still be very, very productive. We want to make sure that we are meeting the need.
Yeah.
Not trying to save the whole world, but trying to just focus on what it is, because it was about community, and now it's transformed over to all about homeless.
Yeah.
That's who we serve now.
Well, it sounds like, Our Daily Bread is just matured as an institution, as an entity.
Well, we knew nothing, and we've learned everything through trial and error.
Right,
lots of falling down, lots of newspaper articles written where we still heard about it 10 years later. Well, you said the blood was on our hands, Well, because we were trying to save lives, It's when we were losing the people during the frost.
Oh, man, I remember that, yeah.
And literally, but, it made a difference. We had this guy who wanted to be our spokesperson. He said, you guys shouldn't even talk to nobody about this because you're too passionate. You say things that hurt people. It's not good.
Yeah, wow.
And so have somebody else speak for you and all these things. So any press releases and all that. And I get it now, looking back going, oh, okay, we made a lot of mistakes. So we learned as we went, and, now we're trying to just be who we are and perfect that and be able to meet the needs. So someday maybe the cops will have the ability to say, hey, either go to jail or come to the shelter. I'm hoping for that. That's really what I'd like to see. I want to work with, that's a whole nother thing too. We don't burn bridges, we build bridges. We're not that's not productive at all. I mean, for 2 years, we've had to go meet with DHS and all the meetings, and, and I admit it, I raise my hand where I fall short, is I call a spade and a shovel, and it can hurt me, and it can hurt the organization.
That's true.
So that's where Daphne fit in. She had that gift and that ability and that talent to be able to take it on. She's amazing. She's an amazing woman.
Yeah.
And she's got all her credentials. So this is what was said. I'm not a Bible scholar. I hate to say this, but I never graduated high school. But I don't really hate to say it because, And if you ask me, why are we being so blessed? And I'll tell you why. It's because one thing I have, and I've believed ever since day one of Daily Bread, is I see it completed in my mind, and I believe it in my heart that that's going to happen. So it's my faith, unwavering faith, that it will never change, because I know it's a God thing, because I was a lazy couch potato IV drug user, and I know, and I was a 3-time loser. So I know that this isn't me. It's God in me being able to do this. And I'm very humble. I just want to make that clear. It's not what I'm doing, it's what God's doing through me. And I got to say that because I don't want to be prideful. I don't care. It's like people were making compliments about me the other day in prayer, and I'm like arguing with them about it. Yeah, and Rita goes, "Oh my God, they're trying to give you a compliment and you won't receive it." And I said, and I laughed and I go, "Well, yeah, probably, but I don't need that. That's not why I'm doing this."
Right.
I'm not doing this to say, "Oh, look at me."
Yeah.
There's a problem. Let's try to meet that need and fix it.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. And giving back. Because I promise you, I created as much good as I've maybe been involved with. I did a lot more damage than that in my life. So I didn't turn 18 till I was 36 years old. That's when I turned 18.
It's a great
and
line.
I'm still kind of a kid,
Yeah.
And I found out through a psychotherapist that I probably was ADHD. People used to tell me, "Well, I'd hate to see you on meth." Actually, when I would do meth, I remember.
Did you calm down?
Calm me down.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And she said, "So you were probably a severe ADHD."
Wow.
And what do you call? Oh, she said I has PTSD because losing my kid and all the stuff that life throws at you is probably what I got. And to be honest with you, when I get nervous, I use humor, because that's how I get through it, and that's all that is. And it's like, when you got everything coming at you, it's either sink or swim, or, and you got to figure out, how am I going to do that? People go, "Oh, well, you got thick skin, you can take it." Well, no, really, I don't. It's just, what do I can't do what I used to do. When somebody talked bad about me.
Right.
I can't be that way no more. So
Yeah.
I don't want to be that way no more. And so that's the good news about it, and, but good things are happening. We're going to get the vision, and then there's going to be a rehab, because the bottom line is this: if people don't get clean and sober, they're going to remain addicted, and they could possibly die. And they're going to be supporting that by stealing your generator, my generator, your chainsaw, my chainsaw. There's a lot of theft. And I mean, even in my neighborhood, I'm like, I got detector lights, and, got to make sure the garage is locked, all that. It's getting to be a real problem.
Yeah.
And, I protect what I have. I don't have a lot, but what I have, I want to keep, and just like anybody else. And so I ended up getting $1,700 worth of damage to my house. I went to file a claim, homeowner's claim, and it was $1,000 deductible. I'm like, what? So you mean basically I'm not going to be able to use this policy until my house burns down, right? The lady's like, you might not want to say that. I'm just kidding. But
I've asked insurance people, what have I been paying for?
Yeah, it's I
protection
pay
money.
$1,000 a year.
Oh my God.
And I have $1,000 deductible, and so I had $1,700 worth of damage. So I got to go figure that one out. Yeah. Or, what if my roof starts leaking? What do you guys actually cover? Homeowners is supposed to be for those unexpected things, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's not.
You weren't maintaining your roof. You got a leak, and now you got to fix your roof.
Wow. Yeah.
Nice of you to call and say hi, though.
Yeah, thanks for waking us up. I don't. Yeah, let's don't get into insurance.
Let's keep it positive and happy, right?
Exactly. It's 2 minutes past 11. Mike, I want to work toward wrapping this up.
Okay.
Just a reminder for everybody, you're tuned to KFUG LP Crescent City, 101.1 FM, online, kfugradio.org. A community service to show. Mike Justice from Our Daily Bread Ministries. So here we are. We're less than a week from Christmas. What can people do to help you guys out?
This is really cool that you asked this, because we didn't even get to this point about Daily Bread. So right now I have a campaign, and you can go to my Facebook, Mike Justice, and click on that. Kind of go to my site, and then you'll see what we're doing. My wife set up a GoFundMe account. that'll go to PayPal through PayPal. And we're looking to get a generator that will be plugged into the building so that when the power goes out, we still function, because we're going to be, a lot of people don't understand, we have a 14 by 35 foot long kitchen, and we have all military stuff. So when in a tsunami, whatever, natural disaster, people are going to be coming there to eat. If nothing else, I can feed probably 800 people a day.
Wow.
Now, that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I've seen that kitchen. That's a serious kitchen. Yeah.
Yeah, and we got another 3-door refrigerator. That was great. But anyway, that was a matching grant type thing. And so anyway, this generator, Randy at High Voltage Electricity gave me the bed. And so we're trying to raise money for that.
So that's got to be a big generator, man. You're just going to plug and play the whole building, right?
And it will. What it does is it'll keep all the freezers going. Our lights, our lights are all LEDs, so that took away a lot of.
I'm
amps.
impressed by the freezers.
Yeah, and I have a lot of freezers. I bought 2 new ones just this year. So yeah.
So I'm just curious. How many amps do you need out of a generator to run the place?
It's the biggest one they have at Home Depot. I mean, you can get bigger. You can get bigger ones, but the one that it's going to be is $8,500 to $9,000 is what it's going to cost.
Wow.
For the installation and the actual generator.
Oh, so for the actual installation
and
too.
And it goes plugs right into our propane tank, that we run no matter what. And that's something that's really necessary. And our timing, I realized, it was like, oh my God, it was like 3 days. And I got one faithful guy that went in there and dropped 100 to seed the pot. And I go, well, if I make a donation to it, then they're going to know that I made the donation. And of course, that's going to be kind of dumb.
Yeah, but they all suggest that you make a donation initially to start the ball rolling, right? Don't they? Yeah.
And I'm going to keep it going till, what I'm thinking to the people is it's almost the end of the year. Who does not need a tax break?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I've got about $500 to raise for KFUG in that same line. I'm doing it with the thing on Facebook. But all right. So people can get to this GoFundMe, of course, by going to GoFundMe. Yeah. But through your Facebook page. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Through my Facebook page, or Rachel Justice too. That's my wife. You can go on her page. She's a lot prettier to look at than me. So it just depends on who you want to look at. If you're a manly man or no. But anyway, I can't help it. I gotta laugh. I guess I'm getting nervous. So anyway,
how much longer is left on the? Is it like a month long? How long are you raising money through the GoFundMe?
What we realized once we decided to go with it was, oh my gosh, it's like a couple weeks before Christmas.
Yeah.
So maybe after or something, we're going to run it every few days. I'm going to repost it.
Exactly.
And we're going to run it till we raise the money.
Okay. All right. Well, let me do this. I want to make a note of this to. What's the GoFundMe called? Because they each have to have a name, right?
You just go to Facebook. You'd have to go on Facebook and then go to my page.
Okay. So I'm just making a note to myself because KFUG will share it too.
Mike Justice, and then click on it. It'll be right up towards the beginning, and they'll click on it, and then it's just got a link that takes you directly there, and you can read my wife's handiwork. Yeah, I definitely didn't write that.
Well, I definitely want to share that because we've been last when the power went out with that bomb cyclone, not only were we off for all night, and then when we came back on, it fried our top breaker, our main breaker over here, so we were off for another week. Well, we weren't off. I ran drop cords across the driveway to keep us going.
We've done that, yeah.
Man.
And I have a generator. To be honest with you, I have a portable one.
Yeah, me too. But it's not big enough.
What are you going to do? You're going to run one light.
Yeah.
And what else are you going to run? A couple things off of it, and that's it. So.
Exactly. It's amazing how quickly 10 amps get used up.
Yeah. I'm just grateful. I know that it'll work because Randy, that's what he does. That's his whole business is installing privately houses. And
that's such an incredibly functional thing to do for the ministry too here in Del Norte County.
Yeah, we have a heat system now so that it will be running that as well.
Oh my God.
So and when the power was out, we did our food. We were having shelter, and we did it by candlelight, and we have backup LED exit lights, and that lit up the whole place. So it's going to be rough. You might want to climb in your bed and cover up.
Yeah, exactly.
It might get mighty cold here too. So anyway, we had 15 that night, so everybody was in the room. So I'm sure they were warm and toasty.
So anything else? Anything I didn't ask you want to get out there?
I think that's it. It covers it. I just appreciate the work you do. That's something that nobody probably says. You're like me. I don't need to hear that. You don't have to address me. No, but it's public service. That's what we are.
That's why we're here.
Service.
Exactly.
The building that we have was bought and purchased for community, not for Mike Justice. So just keeping that real and clear.
Yeah.
And but that's it. I think everything's good. Monday night, if you see, we're definitely sheltering tonight, all through the storms.
Yeah.
We'll be opened. We were open the first night before the storm. It didn't even start raining until 4 a.m. So we opened up, and we're running every night that it's raining. So anytime you see anybody out there, let them know. Monday the 23rd is our big feast and gift giveaway. So our Christmas dinner.
And what time's that?
And that'll be at 6:00. And my wife will be bringing the message. Rachel will be bringing the Christmas message to people. And I'm going to be slaying the turkeys. That's what I'm going to do. Trying not to eat myself into a coma.
Exactly.
I gained 10 pounds. I swear I gained 10 pounds on Thanksgiving.
Just on Thanksgiving?
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I was eating a lot of, I think the candied yams are really good.
Yeah. I don't know. See,
I kind of
Thanksgiving.
lost it a bit.
Well, Thanksgiving, I think if you gain 10 pounds, it's an indication you're doing it
Well, they
right.
say set your scales back, and then you notice
I
it.
set your scales back. Very good.
Until you go to put your pants on. Yep.
Mike Justice, thank you. Thank you very much for coming in and
Thank
catching
you
us
for
up.
having me, and thank you for KFUG. Thank you for all you do, and your whole radio station's awesome.
Well, back at you, man. Because
awesome.
because I mean, we do a lot of things and we talk a lot and we play some music and stuff. But you're out there actually getting people where it's warm
And
and
actually,
getting
it's
them
a
food.
labor of love. One thing I do want to add to this, if it's okay, is through all this time, through all of our windfalls, through all of our blessings and everything, our salaries have remained the same.
Yep.
And that's a labor of love. And that's just what I want to say. It's never about money. If it was, I'd be painting
Doing
cars.
something else.
I'd be doing something else.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Legal stuff, but but anyway, thank you guys. Have a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year.
You too. Thank you very much. Mike Justice from Our Daily Bread Ministries right here on your community radio station, KFUG.